This is a continuation of our meeting that was begun on Monday, September 14th, but had to end because we were in the same meeting room as the Board of Selectmen. Even though we are the standard second Monday of every month meeting, we did allow them to have it because their first Monday was canceled because of Labor Day. So we had approved our minutes, and going through the minutes, I would like to go through the minutes right now as just a way of updating everything that's contained in them. So hold on just a second and let me find them on my computer screen that has an awful lot going on. Okay.
Amanda?
Yes.
Do you need to perform another roll call?
I need to perform another roll call. Thank you very much, Walter.
That's my next question. Thank you.
Thank you. So Walter Durack.
Present.
Lisa Rollins.
Here.
Dave Toth is not here. Amanda Loud is here. We do have a quorum. We have 3 of the set 5 Scribners, although we are at a body of 4 right now, but we are working as a quorum tonight. Thank you very much, Walter.
Sure.
So let me get again, I opened up everything so it's ready to go. How do I share the screen again? I have to remember how to do this. Where is the screen share? It's up above. I'm not finding it anywhere.
Sometimes you have to mouse over
There
it.
it is. I found it. Okay.
That's
It was at the
fine.
bottom. Okay. Here we go. Meeting minutes. There we go. So looking at these minutes, which we accepted at our Monday's meeting, I think just to keep things current, I'd like to talk about it. We're going to talk about the Vanguard here in a minute. Squam Lakes, let's see, up here, Dow Electric has replaced everything. The roofing is scheduled to begin either at the end of this month or in October. I have not heard from him, but we're, I can call him next week or something, or email him. As I said prior to our meeting starting, on the 24th, which is a week from today at 7:30 in the morning, Squam Lakes Plumbing will come to I'll meet them, and they're going to install the final sprinkler head on the stair exit sprinkler system. And so once that's in place, Walter, you and I can get together and take down that fire door, which is really a safety hazard. And then I will probably put it in the basement for now.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll get that down once those sprinkler, and then that's going to be all in working order. And then I will call Chief Heath to get him to sign off on the occupancy load of that room. I know that it differs if you have a table or no table. So I'll get that occupancy load signed off once the sprinkler system's completed on the 24th. Also, Lisa brought it to our attention prior to the meeting starting that there is a problem at the sink in the bathroom with the water pressure and the quality of the water, which we think is definitely connected to the plumbing work that we had. And so when Squam Lakes Plumbing is at our library on next Thursday, I will have them look at the sink as well and get that fixed. So if anything comes to Alex, through the librarians, tell them Amanda knows about it, and we're going to take care of it on the 24th.
Can you ask them, we talked about it briefly before the meeting got closed, about the screws that are sticking out
Yes.
into that hallway?
Not quite sure what we can do about that. I can again point it out to I can point out
Right.
the screws, and we can take a look at it on the 24th.
Yeah.
I think that the long range plan behind installing the sprinkler system was to give short-term access to the second floor, to allow the public to see the possibilities of using the second floor of the library. And then, of course, and this speaks to what we're going to be talking about here in just a few minutes, but the longer range use of the library, may include some demolition work, some movement, I don't know that sprinkler system will be there in 2 or 3 years' time, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
But I understand the concerns, and they can certainly look at it, and we can certainly see. Is this on the second floor, Alice, where these screws are through, or on the first floor?
It is, that it's that kind of thin paneling that makes the hallway there.
Right.
So it's sort of in the hallway to the attic door.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll take a look at that. May or may not be able to resolve that issue. But as I said, the primary motivation, of the Scribners spending the money to put in that sprinkler system was in order to use the Scribner room, for lack of a better term, that nice area upstairs, which is not where the screws came through the wall. And so it may be an imperfect fix for a while, but I think we all know that we're hoping that it is a short-term problem and maybe actually torn out, or removed and reused perhaps in different ways in the coming short term. The lawn maintenance, I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have a question. You said you were going to call the fire chief for the occupancy load. Is that for just the upstairs, or is that for the entire building?
It's for the Scribner room. It's just for that Scribner room.
One room?
It's just for that one room. There's going to be, Chief Heath said that there would be a limit to the number of people that could be in the room. And he said that limit, he's going to have to get up and measure the room. And I don't know all the fire standards, but I know that it is different if there is a table or no table. And quite honestly, we don't care what you do with the table. That's going to be a decision for the people who are using the building to make. But that does need to be signed off. Chief Heath has to sign off on it.
Excellent. I just wanted to clarify what I was writing.
Sure. So as for lawn maintenance, we could see that there, thank you very much to the Department of Public Works. They did mow the lawn in September. We're going to see if that gets us through. They mowed it in August. I take that back. They have not yet mowed it this month, may or may not need to. I know that Craig is keeping an eye on it. And the words, at the Board of Selectmen meeting, my words to him were, we're just trying to make it through till the snow hits, and use your best judgment. And we're done, you're done. If it needs to be mowed again, please do so.
I was just the other day, and I don't think it looks that bad. It actually looks pretty dry.
Yeah, and it's saving us $1,100 a year. So that made it look really good in my eyes. The Supra Safe, do you have a report on that, Walter?
I still have not mounted that.
Okay.
It's sitting on my dining table. Oh, there's a dog in my.
Okay. Manny's coming to our meeting.
Yes.
So, and the tank is buried. I can have a report from going to the Board of Select meeting and discussing the buried tank, that there was a consensus, a vote that the Department of Public Works was going to replace the fill pipe, dig down to get to it, not dig out the tank. That's different. They're going to be digging down, though, about a foot or two, and we'll be able to at least assess the quality of the tank at that time. We'll certainly know what the top of it looks like. And then Craig felt very confident that in his supply shed, that he would have the materials needed to replace that fill pipe, which has the pinholes. And it is really a problem of rainwater and snow melt leaking in that has obviously not been much of a problem this summer. So at any rate, I'm going to, we trustees of the trust funds will be before the Board of Selectmen on Monday, and I'm writing on my calendar, buried tank, and see if I can get a time frame on when that's going to be addressed. I say that because we're going to need to check the oil level and perhaps buy some fuel for, before the end of the year. I think that other than that, I've addressed everything in the minutes. So let me stop this screen share. There we go. And on to the next piece of our agenda, which is the finances. I can tell you that our checking account has, and I need to pull this. I don't want to forget to talk about this that I got in the mail. Our checking account balance is $5,463.88. That should put us in a good position for paying Squam Lakes Plumbing, which will be about a $22,000 plus bill, $2,300 bill. And then we do have, and Walter can speak better to this, but we have sold in Wells Fargo the junk bond fund. And so, Walter, can you talk about the cash that we have at Wells Fargo and where it stands going to Vanguard?
Sure. Amanda mentioned that we did liquidate the unit investment trust position that we had. The primary reason for that was it was not in keeping with the investment policy that the trustees had adopted. So knowing that we had needs for cash, we liquidated that position, which was approximately $12,600. I could provide an exact amount if needed. And that was liquidated and is sitting in the cash portion of the portfolio so that we could access it in the short term if we needed for the expenses, but also when assets were transferred or will be transferred to Vanguard, Vanguard could not accept that unit investment trust. So it was a very logical decision to liquidate it when we did. And we
just to wrap Walter quickly, this $12,000 in cash, we are hoping with crossed fingers will be enough money to pay for roofing fees, for example. That's going to cost about $7,500. And short term, in other words, we're not going to have to sell any stocks or bonds to raise cash to pay bills for a while. That is our hope. That is our hope. So I'm admitting everybody. I hope I'm getting everybody in. Is everybody in who wants to be in? I think that must be David Rule, who's just come in. 370.
Hi, this is Sarah.
Oh, it's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. So Sarah is here. Great. Sarah, we know about the bathroom sink problem. Squam Lakes Plumbing is going to be there to finish the stair sprinkler system a week from today at 7:30 in the morning, and I'll have them look at the sink.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
And we'll look at the screws that are coming through the walls, but as I told Alice, you may just have to deal with that. I don't know what can or cannot be done. But it is, as I pointed out, the sprinkler system up the stairs hopefully has a shelf life of 2 to 3 years, is a way of just expanding the library for now and getting a vision as we all move forward.
Great.
So anyway, we were talking about having about $12,000 in cash at Scribner. It's actually a little bit more than that if you count our checking, about $17,000, $18,000 in cash. And that the idea of that is that we would not have to liquidate anything for the next, year plus, that we would have cash in reserve and be able to pay our bills. Okay, I'm sorry. So Walter, going back to the Vanguard, and then everything's going to be moved over.
That is correct. We were approved for the account with our application. It is in, and then now I am in the process of filling out the transfer of assets form to submit to Vanguard, and they will have everything moved from Wells Fargo. Have everything moved in kind. So all of the different mutual funds, as well as the cash that's invested, will move as is from Wells Fargo to Vanguard. In consultation with Vanguard, all but 6 of the mutual funds we would be able to buy additional shares of. The other 6, they wouldn't allow additional shares to be bought, but that's not a big deal because we're going to be moving to a new slate of investments anyways. But moving it in kind allows us to liquidate those different positions strategically, so we can liquidate them when they're up and not just all at once when they may be down on a particular day.
Right. Good. Okay, thank you.
And what are the so the $12,600, where is that sitting now? Is that in Wells Fargo still?
It's in the money market at Wells Fargo. Yeah.
Okay.
And it might just stay there, whether or not that transferred to a money market at Vanguard. I mean, that's Walter's decision, but it's.
So do we have a status of the of the total trust at this point, or?
What is, oh, that's a good
Well,
question. I
You know,
didn't go
because
on and
we've
look at
been
that.
around the like 95,000, 96,000
I have
total.
not looked at that. I can look at that right now through the joys
Oh.
of the internet.
Oh,
All
wow.
right.
Good. All right, very good.
Okay. Oh, it's cooking. Here we go. The Scribner Trust has a balance of $96,775.24.
And that's in the Wells Fargo.
Still in Wells Fargo, and that
Yep.
does include that 12,000 cash. You know,
Okay.
that 12,005. That's the
Yep.
whole. That's the whole enchilada. 96,775.24. And there is, of course, the Attorney General's office believes that we may already be spending principal, although and I'm not necessarily arguing with that. We probably are, because we found out that that principal is not a static amount given back in 1936. It too is dynamic and is an aggregate amount. However, I don't quite think that the Attorney General was reading the Scribner report accurately on the amount that he thought the principal was. But at any rate, the bottom line is what's done is done. You know, it's over. We're done with that. The trust is over. Now, I have received from Pemmy Fuels a letter that talks about economy comfort service contract. So for $199, and we have Pemmy Fuel at the library, for $199, we can get a service plan that includes the free furnace cleaning, which is about $199. You know how that works. I know that I have one of these for my my home, and it's really quite good because it and I need to look at this a little bit more, but I believe it will include fixing your furnace, you know, if there's the parts and whatnot. And I have actually used mine, and it's been it says eligible appliances include Okay. Most full-priced retail parts will be discounted 20% under the economy plan. Labor for emergency services will be discounted 20% under the plan. So I think that my personal opinion of this is that we have an according to Pemmy Fuel, it says the last annual cleaning was October 17th, 2018. So it's 2 years back. I thought it had been done in 19, but Pemmy says it was done in 18. And I am of the opinion that we should purchase this for $199 because we need to get our furnace cleaned. And if it includes the cleaning, which is about $199, then my feeling is you might as well get the plan because you can get another. It says Eli Badger's with us, but I'm willing to bet cold hard cash that that's probably Mardine.
You are wrong.
Oh man! I think you're lying, Eli. Did she just bring you in to say that? Is she there in the meeting?
No. This, I had Mardine had a call from, a note from Dave Toth, said that he was having a problem.
Oh, okay.
Getting on. So
Okay.
I sacrificed myself to
Sounds
make
like
sure
you
that
brought
the
the
link,
police with you.
you
You're
know,
such
that
a
the link
martyr.
was live. And I have proven that if you wait long enough, you will acknowledge someone.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that you were there. I was busy talking about this Pemmy Fuel thing.
Okay,
At any rate,
I'm going to leave you now.
Okay, bye, Eli.
Bye.
I want to know what my other Scribners think about the Pemmy Fuel. Should we spend the $199 for the service plan? And then, of course, we're going to get the furnace cleaned with it.
I don't have a problem with that. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think I can call him tomorrow and just be sure I'm understanding this all correctly before I sign over. and do it. But I think I'm going to call them tomorrow then, if there's a consensus. Walter doesn't seem to be arguing with me. And
No.
I can call on tomorrow and see, and get our furnace cleaned and get that moving forward and pay for that.
Well, I think it's a good idea where it hasn't been done in a couple of years.
Yeah.
I know that several years ago, and I don't know, we had an issue where, I don't know, it was like, we had this like odor that filled up the building one Saturday or something. And it was like this very fuel-y type,
Yeah.
that fuel smell that you get. And we actually had to and it was in the winter and it was kind of weird. We had to ask people to leave and
Yeah.
air the place out and
we'll
stuff.
get it looked at and
That was 4 or 5 years ago, but yeah,
Okay.
it's
So we'll
probably a good idea to get it cleaned.
Yeah, so I'll look into this tomorrow, set up a time to get it cleaned, as well as, again, talk to the town again about getting that fill pipe fixed so we can get, and this goes also finally, and I'm glad that Sarah is here. So Sarah, if you're listening from a distance, we're getting ready to talk to you. The thermostat at the library has been off since March, since COVID, and it closed down. I went in and just turned it off. Now, we are getting cooler. What is the temperature like in the library when you're going into work?
It's cool, but not uncomfortable.
Okay, so this is what I would like to do. When are you guys going to be there? I think I'd just like to have a little, this is how you work the thermostat lesson, and let you all work the thermostat, and that way, you're there.
I know how to run the thermostat. I'm the one that programmed it.
Oh, hey. So then can we Scribners, I guess I'd just like us to vote or do we even need to vote? Just let the thermostat be your problem. You guys know when you're cold. We don't know when you're cold. And when you're there, and we don't necessarily know when you're there with these odd COVID hours things happening.
I can reprogram it if it's all right with Sarah. Her and I will be there on Tuesday together, and we can work on that, and reprogram it so that it's on when we're going to be there, when we're going to need it. We always had it set up anyway so that it would come on about an hour before we were there, and then while we weren't there, it was set at 50 degrees.
Okay. So I would
and
let
we
you
can do the same thing for whatever hours we're going to be open. If we're only going to be open from 2 to 5 and we're going to be in the building from 2 to 5, then that's the only time it needs to be on to warm up the building enough.
Sure. I'll let you all use your good judgment on the temperature and when it's heated. I do know that my understanding is that the library trustees have put oil into their budget going forward. But that, of course, is because of the way things work with the voting and the fiscal year and everything is will be retroactive and all that kind of weird stuff. But at any rate, we Scribners will certainly look into the level of the fuel and be sure that going into January it's full, ready to go. Okay.
So should we have a motion to spend this $199 to pay me fuels for the service plan?
I move that we spend $199 for the service plan. Do I have
all right,
a second?
thank you. Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yeah.
Aye. Any opposed? Okie dokie. Okay, great.
I didn't hear Walter on there.
No, he's been all quiet. Okay. So I think now if I look back at our agenda, building maintenance, and so now I think we are ready for looking at this. Hold on just a moment, and I will find the way to share it. So as I said, this is the from what we are preparing is a joint proposal from both the Scribner trustees as well as the library trustees, and there'll be a portion that's the Scribner portion and a portion that's the library trustees portion. And this is in response to the fact that the trust was probably down to principal. And that the Attorney General's office has said that in order to dissolve the Board of Trustees and possibly the trust, although he seemed uncertain if the trust itself could be dissolved, but it could certainly be moved to the trustees of the library and not be managed by the trustees of the trust funds or the Scribner trustees. So I wrote this to get our discussion started. This is editable. We need to add, we need to subtract, we need to make it, so this is, and then we will talk, Alice, also we want any thoughts you have, you're certainly welcome to pitch in. I know that I have talked to individually, I have talked to some members of the Board of Selectmen, and they have individually given me some opinion as to what they're looking to see, in order to support this. So we'll also share that with you, Alice, as you take this to your library trustees. So it has come to the attention of the Scribner Board of Trustees that the Scribner Trust is no longer solvent and will not be able to support the Scribner building. Over the years, the use of the Scribner building has become dedicated to that of the library. And of course, we have as paperwork on that, the Superior Court's decision in, I think it's 1982. Sarah, I know, is the one that knows all of this stuff very, very well, as does Alice. But anyway, when we go before the Board of Selectmen in October, believe me, the paper packet that will be, the digital file that goes forward with this will be very complete. And that will be in it. Over the years, the New Hampshire Superior Court reaffirmed this 1970 court decision in 1998. There we go, never mind. After consulting the Ashland Library Board of Trustees and the Attorney General's office, the Scribner trustees believe it is in the best interest of the town of Ashland to dissolve the Scribner Board and the trust. We now petition the Board of Selectmen to ask the town's legal counsel to begin this process in probate court. The Scribner Board is willing to pay up to $10,000 of legal fees this action may occur. Now, do we have the $10,000 to pay? I don't know. I don't even think we've got the $7,500 that we're going to need to fix the roof. This is all a decision that's going to have to be, how much that is of the $96,000 that is principal is going to have to be, as the Attorney General's office has noted, something basically that legal is going to have to figure out as legal goes through and the web of this trust to try to figure out, what is the principal now and what is not. I thought this was my personal, I wrote this draft, which is just a draft, and I put in that $10,000 as a way of saying, we're not asking the town to foot this bill, another bill that the town is going to have to pay. It was a way of sweetening my proposal. How's that? To say that we would pay up to $10,000. I don't think, I know that it will not be free. I don't know what the cost will be. I do know that there isn't an opposition, going to court against this that will cause our fees to increase. It is the desire of the Scribner Board of Trustees to turn the management of the building and grounds of the library over to the Ashland Town Library Board of Trustees. We also ask that any funds remaining in the Scribner Trust be turned over to the Ashland Town Library Board of Trustees, whether this be a cash outlay or the management of any remaining trust funds. Okay, Lisa, Walter, anything else? I do have an email from Dave Toth. He said he liked it as it stood.
I have no issue with it.
Do you think there's anything that I didn't say that needs to be said? Anything? The problem is, according to the Attorney General's office, and his email to me about this will also be in that packet that goes to the Board of Selectmen. But the Attorney General, Tom Donovan, just said, look, you need your Board of Selectmen to send this to legal. There's nothing, it's not a decision you can make. It's not a decision the town can make, and it's not a decision the BOS can make, other than sending it to the lawyer to go before the probate court and have the courts make the decision. Walter, you're quiet. What do you think? You're muted. Can't hear a word.
Sorry, I was put myself on mute because I thought my brother was going to come in the house. I like simpler, and I think simpler is better in this case. If it gets too full of detail, I think that what we're trying to accomplish is going to get lost in that detail.
Yeah. Well, there's
I agree with that.
we can do. I mean, there's not, the thing is our hands are completely tied. There's nothing we can do. The lawyer has to do everything. And what we really need the Board of Selectmen to do is send it to the lawyer.
Right. But, working with the Board of Selectmen, they have a lot of things that come in front of them that, they're going to be familiar with on varying degrees. And, simpler is better. They don't need to worry about the details, such as we don't have to be as concerned with the details. That's the lawyer's problem.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. Then if we don't have any, if we all are, I guess I have a motion. I'm going to make a motion that we approve this as the Scribner proposal to go before the Board of Selectmen in October. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. I have to do a roll call for, and I forgot to do that for the heat, but the heating contract seemed to be 100% and was certainly not of the magnitude of this. So roll call: Walter Durack.
Aye.
Lisa Rollins.
Aye.
And Amanda Loud also votes in the affirmative. It's been carried by a quorum, and this will be the proposal that we send before the Board of Select. First, we send it to the library trustees. Now, okay, Alice, so we will need this back. We will need this back with yours, and this is why there's space below, sign the Scribner Board of Trustees, and we'll probably put all our names there, not just say Board of Trustees, but all our names. And then down there's, it's half a page, so this is your space, ideally, so that, as Walter said, simpler the better. We hand them this piece of paper. And I can tell you that in speaking with individually with Board of Selectmen members, their individual opinions have all said, we need to know what will the library trustees do if they get the building and the trust, or whatever left is the trust. Don't get your hopes up on that trust. There may not be any money. But what are they going to do if they get the building? And then out of the second words out of their mouth are always referring to the CRF that the library has. It has about $96,000 in it. I know because I just filed the papers about 2 days ago. So I would just, I'm not telling you what to write. This is for you. I can say that I encourage the library trustees to write something of similar size. I think that we don't need to get into too many details, but I do think that the library trustees need to embrace the building. I know that you've had the contractor come and look at evaluate it recently, and that it was evaluated as just, it didn't shock him, even though I'm shocked sometimes.
Yeah.
But that you do have $96,000 and I think public opinion from what people I talk to in town has actually been extremely positive for the library and for the Scribner building. That many people have said, I bet if the library asked the town for more money, it would probably pass, which is why I've said, if you have ideas of what $100,000 can do, what $150,000 can do, what $200,000 can do, I think that will only boost public interest in the building.
Right.
And I think, a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I don't believe at the SB2 meeting this year, however that's going to be held, I don't think that the SB2 meeting in 21 would be the venue for this, because we will be dissolving the Scribners at that time, and trying to get the library moving. But certainly the SB2 meeting in 22 would be the time to have on easels, you know, this is a pictures of what $100,000 does, and a picture of what $150,000 does, and then a third picture of what $200,000 would do as you think through, you know, moving forward in the building and going to the town for additional funding. You know, people get very excited when they physically see what it looks like versus getting a, you know, a list of conveniences that someone reads at a microphone. You know, I mean, it's just so much easier to see it, you know. So anyway, that's, you know, my opinion, and also the opinion of some people I've spoken to that are both on the Board of Selectmen and those that aren't, you know, just townspeople. The sentiment I'm getting is that the people in the town of Ashland really like the library and the Scribner building. I know it has a lot of drawbacks. Believe me, I have seen things I cannot unsee in these past few months. As we've been doing all of this, you know, deferred maintenance. However, you know, it's got a lot of really neat things too. And I think that whenever the library can be open again to people and to book groups and whatnot, being able to use that Scribner room with its really neat tin ceiling, and, you know, it's got rooms upstairs. It has a fireplace, you know, I mean, it's just got some, not necessarily working, but it's neat, you know, and it's got a really nice feel in places. And I think, with the 100,000 plus, you know, you certainly can't turn it into something that looks like peas, but you could certainly, you know, make it where, you know, there aren't holes in the wall, and things aren't sagging, and, you know, the heating system works better, and there could be some additional square footage for sure, I think, put on, not a ton, but some that is done better. So that's what I encourage the library trustees as you move forward with this proposal, that you address, perhaps not in detail, but you certainly show the Board of Selectmen, you know, what the vision is for the library trustees at this time.
Okay, you finished?
Yes, I am. Thank you for your patience.
Well, thank you for all of your advice. We will certainly write, you know, very simple, that we support the Scribner trustees and what you're doing with dissolving the Scribner trustees and the trust. And then we need to think about our next steps, certainly. I think that from what I know of construction, which isn't a lot, but I think if we start doing things, you know, then that makes more doing things required. Like, I think if we start renovating, then we're going to have to be ADA compliant, and we're going to have to do a lot of other things. So, you know, I think the cost is going to really mount up quite quickly, but we'll see. You know, we do have some of that money, the capital reserve, and you know, I agree that the town seems to really like the location of the library and the building. You know, just from other things that go on in town and discussions on Facebook, they don't like change. The town does not like change. So, you know, we have dreams, we have hopes of, you know, beautiful new meeting spaces. I mean, you know, the room upstairs is nice. You have the tin ceiling and things. The furniture is not that comfortable. It's not that big a room. There's always, you know, we've been squeezing people in for years and years and years. So, you know, we'd certainly like to see much, much more space. But we'll see what happens. This is a great start. You know, like I said, we'll write up something to concur with what you guys are doing, so we're all on the same page. Go from there.
Well, I do know that, you know, that I've been, every time I'm before the BOS, I think Eli asks, are you working with the library trustees? I'm saying, yes, they're at all our meetings. We're trying. Unfortunately, it's our job to take care of the building right now. But
Yeah.
they're certainly telling us, what's needed to be done, and we have no money. But yes, we
Right.
are trying very hard to work together. And I think that what they're looking for is a joint understanding, and as you said, on the same page.
Yeah.
With this.
Right. Right.
I wish this could have been done, 10 years ago.
Right. Well, I mean, when we think back, giant steps, we're taking giant steps at this point in terms of our relationship with the Scribner trustees.
It's a 180 now. It's a complete night and day 180. And as I said, things are going to start happening really fast. In October, if the Board of Selectmen does accept this, and is pleased with what they see to send it to legal, things are going to really happen fast. I don't think the board will be dissolved by January. It may be dissolved by March, and then I have to say that there's Lisa, Walter, and I think I can speak for Dave and I are not going to be crying when that happens. We are going to be just shouting for joy. This is not a job we want. So anyway.
Yeah. And we are, looking at putting into our budget, heating money and repair money and things like that. So we're prepared, or the town knows that we're trying to be prepared for what's coming.
Good. And also, I've suggested this a few times, but again, the Friends of the Ashland Library need to establish some kind of, it can be just a checking account right now. And that so that when people give to the library, and my hope is, as this goes out and becomes more and more public, and the Scribners are gone and the library's on its own, and people get excited and they want to give money, they do not give money to the library. They give money to the Friends of the Ashland Library. And that can be tax deductible. You can be a 501c3 so that their donation is tax deductible. But by oh, there you go. But by putting it in, and this is what Holderness did about 20 plus years ago, it's not always been a happy, beautiful relationship over in Holderness, because I can remember some of the very dark days when I was a trustee over there. Not that me being a trustee made it dark, but anyway, that we would have people donate to the Friends of the Holderness Library, because that kept the money from showing up on the Holderness Library budget. And if, as we all know, certain budget committees see that there's gifts coming in of so many dollars that they will cut budgets by that. It's not subversive, but it is a way of being able to channel funds in a positive direction for the library. And that way people, because my hope is that, people do want to give to the library. And what I'm hearing is people do want to give to the library, but they want to be assured where the money's going to go, so.
Yeah, the Friends of the Library became a 501c3 several years ago. I am actually the treasurer of the Friends of the Library, so.
Oh, good. And I think that would be another way to publicize giving to the library.
We have put out some things in the past, and we probably need to do that again.
Yeah, it's tax deductible, and just make sure if, again, anybody who comes into the library and wants to give money, have them give it to the Friends. Beginning now, it's just a good way for bookkeeping and accounting. Okay, well then, any other business? We want this back, Alice, to us. You can put it in an email to me or to everybody and all the Scribners. We want it back by Monday, the 5th of October. I can't hear you.
We meet next Tuesday, so.
Perfect. And then we Scribners meet again on October 12th. And then we go before the Board of Selectmen with this. So that will include the library trustees, and the Scribners are on the agenda for October 19th. So Alice, what I can do is I can email this. Do you have this proposal? Do you have it, or do you want me to email it to you?
I feel like you sent it, but you could send it again.
I'll send it again to the three of you and Sarah as well. And we look forward to seeing what part you write.
And we're having a meeting on Columbus Day.
Is that okay?
It's okay with me. I don't have an issue with it. I'm just
Okay.
putting that out there, that it is
Sure.
Columbus Day.
Okay, Walter, are you going to be available on Columbus Day?
Yes.
Okay, yes. Okay. Plymouth State has canceled all holidays except Veterans Day. So I just thought, I canceled all holidays except Veterans Day. I didn't even
I work most holidays anyway, so.
There you go. I think we met on Memorial Day in May, so, you know.
I see you have your green bracelet, Amanda.
Yes,
Very good.
I was so good. I've tested weekly, and so far, and I found out I was negative today. I've told people that, you know, I guess crow tastes like chicken. I may be eating crow, because I have to say, I'm surprised Plymouth State has made it as long as it has, and it has the low cases that it is getting. I'm incredibly impressed.
Yeah.
I did not give it this long in the beginning.
Yeah.
What is the green bracelet?
Well, we get tested for COVID every week. As a student or faculty and staff, you have to go in and get tested. And each week there's a different color bracelet that you're given, so that the teachers know you can't get into any buildings or classes unless you have your bracelet.
Oh, okay.
So this week it's green. I don't know what next week will be. I don't know what color I'll be wearing on the 12th.
I know a judge that is teaching at Franklin Pierce in Concord, and said they get tested twice a week.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Some places are twice a week. Yeah. I heard another.
And you can't step out of your car without a mask on.
Yeah. I heard another school is doing that too. I can't think of what it was.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have, like I said, maybe I guess it tastes like chicken, but I have to say I've been incredibly impressed so far. Well, if there's nothing else to discuss, I think we're done. Any other discussion points? Well, then I move that we dismiss the meeting. Do I have a second?
Okay. Second.
Okay. All in favor, Walter?
I am in favor of that.
Lisa Rollins.
Okay, yes.
And Amanda says aye too. So